Imagine being born and being rejected by your own family on the very first day of life, without the warmth of a mother, without the milk that would ensure your survival, without protection. That's exactly what happened to a small gorilla named Kaius. Veterinarians said he probably wouldn't survive that night. But what happened next? Moved caretakers, scientists, and people all around the world. Because one man made a decision no one expected. He decided to become the family of that gorilla. And that decision would change Kaius's destiny forever. Part 1. The Birth of Kaius. Kaius was born in October 2022 at the Zoo Mogo Wildlife Park in Australia. He weighed only 2.2 kilograms, practically the same weight as a human baby. Just like with humans, baby gorillas are extremely dependent on their mother during the first months of life. In the wild, a baby gorilla spends almost all its time clinging to its mother's body, learning how to live by observing her behavior and the group. But with Kaius, something went wrong. A few hours after birth, the father of the group began to act aggressively and ended up separating the baby from the mother. The caretakers tried for 14 hours to get the baby returned, but that never happened. Part 2. A baby between life and death. Without access to his mother's milk, Kaius quickly began to weaken. Scientifically, this is extremely dangerous. The mother's first milk, called colostrum, contains essential antibodies that protect the baby against diseases. Without it, a newborn baby becomes vulnerable to serious infections. And that's exactly what happened. Kaius developed severe pneumonia. His small body struggled to breathe. Veterinarians said there was a high chance he would not survive that night. It was a race against time. Part 3. The decision that changed everything. It was then that the zoo director made an extraordinary decision. He decided to personally take care of the baby. For months, he took on the role that normally belongs to the mother gorilla. And that meant extremely intense work. Kaius needed to be fed every 2 hours, day and night. The caretaker prepared special milk formulas. He held the little gorilla in his arms, changed his diapers, and even slept with him in the room. There's a scientific reason for this. Primate babies need constant physical contact to regulate stress and stabilize breathing. So many times Kaius slept resting against the caretaker's chest, listening to the heartbeat, something very similar to what he would have heard in his mother's body. And little by little, the gorilla began to respond. Part 4. What science says about gorillas. Gorillas are considered one of the most intelligent animals on the planet. They share about 98% of their DNA with human beings. They live in family groups led by a dominant male called a silverback. Within these groups, social bonds are extremely strong. Young gorillas learn everything by observing. How to feed, how to communicate, how to play, how to protect themselves. That's why when a baby gorilla is raised by humans, a big problem appears. He may not learn how to live like a gorilla. This means that reintroducing him into a group of the same species can be very difficult. And that was exactly the scientists' fear. Kaius was surviving. But would he be able to become a real gorilla? Part 5. A huge challenge. As the months passed, Kaius began to grow. He was already stronger, but there was a crucial question. Who would teach him how to be a gorilla? That's when the caretakers decided to try something risky, introduce Kaius to an adult gorilla named Jian. She was 42 years old. She was experienced, calm, and maybe could accept the baby. But there was also the risk of rejection. In some cases, gorillas can even attack babies they don't recognize as part of the group. The caretakers watched everything carefully. And then, something incredible happened. Part 6. The emotional moment. When Jian saw little Kaius, she did not show aggression. On the contrary, she slowly approached, smelled the baby, and began to treat him with care. It was as if her maternal instincts had been activated. From that moment on, Kaius finally had a mother. He began to learn natural behaviors, play with other gorillas, climb structures, communicate with sounds and gestures. something that no human could completely teach. Part 7, an inspiring ending. Stories like this are extremely rare. Gorilla babies that are raised by humans often cannot return to living with their own species. But Kaius did, thanks to the effort of veterinarians, caretakers, and scientists. He not only survived, he gained a second chance to live like a true gorilla. Today, Kaius continues to grow healthy, and his story became a powerful symbol of care, of dedication, and of the incredible connection between humans and animals. Closing. The story of Kaius reminds us of something very important. Sometimes, a single decision can completely change the destiny of a life. If you like this story and want to discover more incredible stories from the animal world, subscribe to the channel because nature always has even more surprising stories to tell.